So apologies, it is really windy. Dude's on a mission, seems to be a norm. Birds of prey flying. I don't know if they're mating or nesting, but there seems to be a lot of birds of prey around, as well as crows and stuff. But yeah, anyway, I thought it'd be a video, a bit of a different video, to do things I've learned since becoming a dog breeder. And the main one is I've learned to have a thick skin. And if you don't have a thick skin, you'd be lucky if you breed at all. Or if you do breed, it'd be like 1 or 2 litters and you quit, because the judgment from everybody, whether they into dogs, know about dogs and dog breeding or not, you will get judged a lot for every decision you do or don't make. And it's as simple as that. You get judged by pet people for inverted comma making money out of your dogs, inverted comma to end that. You get judgment from the adoption people because they're like, you're contributing to overpopulation in rescue, and it's like, no, I'm not, because I'll take back any dogs that I've bred that need taking back. I stand by my dogs, and I just hope that I make the correct decisions of which puppy goes to which family, and tragedy doesn't happen to that family that they can no longer keep the dog. But I will take them back at any stage, because that's part of what I do. You'll get judged by people for what age you do or don't breed your dog. If you breed your girl when she's 2, people will say, oh, it's too young. Well, no, it's not. And the breed club accept it. The kennel club actually accept it from a year-old. And then if you leave it till she's 4 or 5 to have her first litter, people go, oh, well, that's too late to have your first litter. But it's insanity. If you use a certain stud dog, be like, well, that stud dog does this, throws this, has that, those lines have this, have that. It's like, yeah. And then, you pick a puppy to keep from a litter. Oh, well, why did you keep that one? The other one was better. If you don't keep a puppy from a litter, you're breeding just for money because you didn't even keep from a litter. It's just like every choice you do or don't do, you will get judged for it. So you've got to have a thick skin, but I also think you've got to decide on your own standards, stick to them. If people ask, you tell them why you made that decision when you made it. And if they're just going to be opinionated and judge you regardless, then just ignore them. Because that's what it's like being a breeder. You will get judged all the time, regardless. If you have 1 litter a year, 3 litters a year, 1 litter every 5 years, it doesn't matter, you will get judged. You just gotta live with it. And then like the whole keep making money out of your dogs thing. Like, it costs a lot of money to breed, it costs a lot of money to show, it costs a lot of money for everything, equipment. I got 6 dogs with me today. They're all wearing a collar. They're all wearing an ID tag. I got spare collars and spare ID tags in case one gets broken or lost in the house. I've got a lead each for them. Like, that all costs money, and this is just like the most basic of equipment. I got a training whistle. It was about £10 or £11 for an Acme whistle, I think that's what I paid for the crafts. A lanyard to hold the whistle. Like, There's everything. Money, like hiking boots, so I can walk with dogs. And that's like something you wouldn't even think of. Because if I didn't have the dogs, would I need the hiking boots? No, I wouldn't. So it does count as a cost. Feeding the dogs, training them, vet bills, everything. Like going to a show, like a 300-mile round trip, that's a tank of fuel. That's not including entry fees. It's not including your ring clip, your show lead, your bait bag, your bait, a crate, shampoo if you've bathed your dog, other stuff if you've done to clean your dog, your food, because inevitably you end up eating junk food when you go to a dog show because it's a long day and you just crave carbs and want something quick and easy. There's people that take days off work, their holidays, to go to dog shows. And that's not even going into your fees to actually breed a litter. This is just your general one. And okay, you could go, well, you don't need to show your dogs. You kind of do, because you learn a lot about the breed and the various types of dog within your breed. You learn about common faults and what you need to avoid. You learn about common faults in certain lines. You learn about how certain lines move. You get better access to stud dogs. You talk to people and network and you get mentors, which a mentor is always good because they can give you advice when it's easy to let your head sway your decision on various things. Slow, guys. And you're showcasing your dog, you're giving your dog value, you're proving you're not just breeding for the sake of breeding, you're proving you're breeding to improve on your stock, improve your lines, improve things. So I mean, the biggest thing is judgment. And the other thing I learned since becoming a dog breeder is you don't have time. People, unless you've had a litter, will not understand the time commitment of being a breeder, because you know, even before a litter, going to dog shows and missing out on things because your dog's in season and you're worried about your girl's in season, you're worried about leaving a home with a dog, even with barriers in between. And if your family engagement is somewhere where you can't take dogs, well, then you can't go. You know, it's as simple as that. Then when you've got a litter, you are glued to the house for a minimum of 9 weeks. A week before she's due, and the 8 weeks that you've definitely got the puppies. Sometimes longer, because sometimes you inevitably end up keeping a puppy for a couple of weeks longer because somebody's on holiday, they book time off work but they can't get the time off work for a fortnight. It's something, there's a family engagement. So I'm just calling it a minimum time because that's what it really is. So yeah, and people won't understand that. They won't understand your commitment and dedication to your dogs, whether you've got puppy, a litter or not. You know, it's a lifestyle choice, put it that way, because your house is covered with dog hair. Muddy footprints are a daily / hourly occurrence that you can clean, and then immediately there's a fresh footprint on the newly mopped floor. there's hair on the newly hoovered sofa. It's just how it is. You know, to do it the way I do it with the dogs, with the hiking all the time, with all the extra activities like the carriage dog training, the showing, the film, TV work. It's just a time, my life is dedicated to Dalmatians. And I love it, I'm not complaining, but people don't get it. And sometimes you got to make tough choices when you're a breeder, and you kind of hope you're never in that situation, but sometimes you are. Right, I think I'm gonna have to stop filming temporarily to do this, fix this slippery. So yeah, sometimes you learn by your mistakes and you have to make hard decisions. And people don't always get it, and the hours you spend researching and learning, like most people wouldn't have looked into dogs to that extent and that level, and that's fine. But when they then argue with decisions and choices you have made through what you've learned through your research, it's really annoying. And you know, they just don't really understand how hard that decision was to make in the first place. Judith is slippery. You minging pumpkin. Baby's eating blackberries on the way. They love blackberries. Bloody mad. So, I mean, if I state something along the lines of temperament is genetic, I haven't just plucked that statement out of thin air. And if anybody needs or wants me to back up that statement, I can and I will. And then the other thing is, you will always offend people when you're a dog breeder, because they'll suggest a line or a dog to you to use on your girl, and you'd be like, no. And that's just part and parcel of it. Like, not everybody likes every dog. Different people have different priorities in their program, and that's just part of it. And yeah, you make decisions, and that's how it is. Like, I know I got judged for using Boris, and I know Louisa watches this, but it's fine because I chose Boris for specific reasons, and that litter proved I made the right choice. Because Jude, pointy in her nose, she needs a squarer head, shorter muzzle, and we got that. She hasn't got the worst tail set, but it's not the best. We improved on that. She hasn't got the worst top line, but we improved on that. The only thing it didn't do, which I knew it wouldn't do, is spotting, because he's quite heavily spotted, and so is she. So I knew that's for another breeding. But he did what I wanted him to do. He added bone. Good if, you know, Pumpkin's not quite a year old yet. Watch her go side by side with her mum now. You see? Jude's fully mature. And Pumpkin is a tad finer than Raven. Kept the temperament, kept the trainability, kept the general soft dopiness that we love, and the goofiness, and oh dude, and the smiles. That was a steep hill to be talking and walking, but the proof is in the pudding, as the saying goes, and Valita have proved me right. But there will be choices I make along the lines that won't work out. You know, you put a pairing together with a vision in mind of what you want to achieve, and if it doesn't work, you either can decide, well, it was random, as in it should have worked but it didn't, I'll try again, or with the same pairing, or you go, that completely didn't work and I'll try this and this instead. But you will offend people in your choice, and you may book in with a stud dog and then a new one comes on the scene, you'll be like, oh crap, I want to use that one. So you either offend the person you've already booked in with, or use the one you booked in with and wait till next time. I mean, in theory, the decision you made when you originally booked in with should still do what you wanted it to do. But it's not ever a guarantee. You know, it's a bit of a lottery game, breeding. You know, you might get a perfect puppy, except for it's got a blue eye, or it's unilateral, or you might get your perfect puppy. But yeah, you will upset people, you will get judgment, you will lose friends when you become a dog breeder, and you gotta either stick by it or call it quits. And when you're even on a miserable, threatening to rain day, I like my life. Even though it's killing me, all these hills. I've already had a nap today because I didn't sleep because my wrist is bad. This sort of freelance stuff where if I need to have a nap I can, because nobody's got me on the clock, and I can walk. I can go and have a sit down, I can have a sleep, I can have a rest one day, I can do training one day, I can give them the Glazebrook snuffle mats. They have a very varied life, and I love doing that for them, but the varied life and the lack of routine suits me too. That's kind of going back into my lifestyle. But this is the sort of topic that I could sit and talk about for ages, and if I'd actually written myself a little bullet point notes to talk about, I probably wouldn't have got so deep onto just the judgment bit of it all. But anyway, maybe this will be part one of several parts, but I shall see you all soon. Bye.